Melissa Sgro, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us on the Raw Success podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You are such a kick-ass business owner and you have built this incredible empire. And as a fellow dance studio owner, I am in awe of the incredible students that you produce, the amazing business that you've built, and all that you have achieved. For people, obviously, Raw Success is about all businesses, and we have a wide range of business owners who are listening today. For those who are listening who are not in the dance studio owner world and haven't been surrounded by dance mums for many, many years like you and I, talk to them about the business that you run and how difficult it has been working with that very niche target market.
Sure. Well, thank you. That was such a lovely introduction. And it definitely has been a journey. I started my business as a very ambitious and somewhat naive 19-year-old 20-something years ago. And I started my studio because I wanted to teach dance and I wanted to create and I wanted to do it, on my terms. And through those decades, it has been very much an evolution of learning about business because I knew dance and, I came from obviously dance background. So I did all of my exams right through. I was a competitive dancer. I did some cheerleading for some of the WA, elite teams here. And, that was the life that I knew. But I knew nothing of business. So when I started my studio at 19, I was also first year into uni. And I really, really loved, I didn't do any kind of business. I did sports science. My love was in human body and learning about how that translates to dance. And, every time I would hear something, I would go, I could do that better. I could do that in the studio. And that's so much better than how I learned. And the excitement in that, I did 3 years undergrad sports science, and then I did my master's in exercise physiology because I was more like, give me more. And I really, really enjoyed that process. And I put so much of that learning into our acceleration programs and developing safe strategies for those students within our studio who, either wanted to go on and do full-time dance or, other careers or, get on stage and compete, as well as taking care of the recreational students and kind of applying those strategies, into our programs. So it wasn't really until the C word, COVID, hit, and our dance industry kind of went to, And it was not only for survival, it was, I need to have some tools now. I really do. So the turning point, I think, was I've always been really interested in professional development. I will say that, like, I've always been a learner and what's next is always in my mindset, but not so much in a business sense until COVID. And then it became, I need to start collaborating with people who know more than me and let's do this. So that's how the evolution of dancer to, studio owner to business owner became. I really, really enjoy listening to I think we've spoken before about Brene Brown and like her leadership things. But Ant Middleton, I'm a massive fan of his mindset stuff. And I'm very much like when it comes to flight, fight, or freeze, I step up every time. Like, that's just in my nature.
Yeah.
So bring it. Like, and I really love that. His mindset on that is like, you can do it. Here's the tools. This is what you need. And I like to now coach and train my teachers that way as well. So not only the students, but also the teachers who were teaching the students.
So it feels like you did like quite a long stretch, really just focusing on the dance, focusing on what you were delivering, the service you were delivering in the studio, and then kind of took a real switch to the business side of things. Now,
Absolutely.
which side of things do you prefer? Because clearly you're an avid learner and you're always kind of taking in information and learning more about how to do things better. Which kind of side of the fence do you sit on now?
I I'm definitely more in the leadership side at the moment. I don't teach as much in the studio as I used to. Although in saying that, I still teach our competitive teams, some of our troops. I do like to keep my finger on the pulse of our seniors who have been with us for a long time. Many of them were preschoolers when they started, so we really enjoy our I can do a lot of that teaching by pointing and I
Yeah.
don't have to put my body on the line so much
Yeah.
because yeah, I used to do so much of the teaching, almost all of the teaching, and then I did a little bit less, and now I do 3 hours and I just cannot anymore. So it's a bit of a balance. Like, would I like to do more? Yes. Would my body allow me? Probably not. So yeah, I do more of the leadership side. And if you had to ask me maybe 2 years ago, it was my least favorite part
Mm, so
of
interesting.
having to do the business stuff. Um, but now I kind of really enjoy it.
I love it. And so it feels to me like a natural progression that you found the Raw Success community, being someone who loves learning and being someone who is has been part of that awards process before. Uh, I feel like it's a strategic part of your marketing plan in entering awards because you've been so successful in entering awards in the past. Tell us what the Raw Success experience has been like and why you were attracted to us and to participating in the Raw Awards for 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. In all honesty, probably would never have entered a business awards before. Last year was my very first time of
No
ever
way.
entering business awards ever.
Oh, wow.
When we
I
did
didn't
that
know that.
ADA, this was from collaboration from our mentorship program that we have with dance studio owners, and through the club, we that opportunity was presented, and I was like, sure, okay. And when we came to the conference and we were surrounded by all of those amazing people, I left so inspired from the workshop thinking everybody in this room is doing better things than me. They are smarter, they are more high tech, they are like the thing with dance studio is there's no model, there's no right way or wrong way. Everyone does it their way.
Yeah.
And listening to people like, that's so amazing that you do it like that. And some people I was like, you are dreaming. I would never entertain doing, that many productions or, managing 500 students or do it like, so there's things that I was like, oh, I want to go more like that. Like that's so inspiring. And there was others like, I'm never going down that track. Like I just know where my lane was. So
Yeah.
entering the awards is a really, really great way to connect with people who are doing what you're doing and you get inspired by them. I want to say that the whole process of, reflecting, because nobody really asks the questions. Nobody is your cheerleader.
Yeah.
So when you're entering the business awards and they say, what have you done in the last 2 years? It's not until you kind of go back through the numbers or go back through like, wow, we actually kind of did a lot. And it's just one foot in front of the other day after day, and you just get on with it.
Yeah.
So looking back that in itself is worth the pain and suffering. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Writing awards is hard work, man.
It is hard work.
Having a word limit is hard work. So being able to say what you want to say, and it has to be, articulate, and then you got to do it in 300 words. It's hard.
Yeah.
But the benefit from that, the reward that you get, not only to champion yourself, but also really for, significant reflection. And sometimes you go, that perhaps wasn't so great. And it helps you to, identify those weaknesses and push forward.
I love that you say that because that reflection isn't always positive. And, I've been entering business awards for 15 years now. And some years I just don't have anything to say to that question. I mean, the challenges question, I've always got something to say, but the achievements for the last 2
Absolutely.
years, sometimes it's like, well, my achievement is I'm still alive and I'm, and the business is still running and that's enough. And I think sometimes people don't enter awards because they feel like they don't have a perfect story to tell, when actually judges want to hear when it works and when it doesn't work. They don't want to just hear that it's all roses and sunshine and perfection, because the judges that we have as part of the Raw Awards process, they run their own businesses, so they know it's not all perfect. So I love that, you said that reflection has helped you really be able to differentiate on the times that it's working and the times that there's things that need to work, and that you've used that reflection to be able to make changes and improvements in your business, because that's the whole point of it. So that's brilliant. In leading your team, you are bringing everybody from the other side of the country to the 2024 Raw Awards. How important is it having buy-in from your team members as part of the awards process?
Yeah, it's, teamwork, being a team player is such a big part of our studio culture and any kind of business culture, because you can't do it alone. And the act of delegating is a learned skill, and effective communication is a learned skill, and giving and receiving feedback is a learned skill. So all of those things really kind of empower the people around me, and they want in. They were like, are you bringing me this time? This is fantastic. So somebody has to stay back and hold down the fort, unfortunately, because, the weekends are our busiest day at the studio. But it is really nice to have that support, because they do have so much buy-in. So I'm bringing 2 of our team members over with us. One who is our front desk administrator. She started her daughter. She has 2 daughters. They were preschoolers with us, and she's been with us for 10 plus years.
Beautiful.
And she does all the yuck stuff that I don't like to do, like the numbers and taking people's money. She's great at that, and all that kind of stuff. She's the front desk concierge. And I'm also bringing my studio manager, who started as a student, who I trained up to be a teacher. She's now a choreographer and our studio manager. And, we rely on each other. I rely on her so much. So it's really nice to be able to celebrate, getting to that point, being finalists in, the awards that we're up for, because of their input into the business. Yeah, because I'm under no illusions, it's definitely a teamwork, and we do it together.
Yeah, I love that. It's a beautiful platform to be able to celebrate them and all that they bring to your business. And it's also just nice to be able to share the experience, isn't it? To be able to, when when everybody gets dressed up and everybody is there and you hear your name called out, like it's really special. So I love that you're going to all the effort, because that's a significant investment to bring team members not only to the awards night, but to the conference, and to travel as far as you are. That's really, really awesome. Talk to us about what is, next for you in terms of your entrepreneurial journey, the ups and the downs. What challenges lie ahead? You've obviously done an incredible amount of study. Do you ever kind of want to just open your own additional sports medicine practice as well as this empire that you're building?
Gosh, that's so funny that you say that, because I have a few things in the works, actually. For the last few months, I've been working with the Australian Sports Commission in a pilot mentorship program.
Beautiful.
And it has been amazing, because obviously it's sport-based and recruiting women into leadership positions and coaches. And I, of course, run everything through a filter of how do I apply this to dance and how do I apply this to teachers. But the program so far, we're about halfway through. It is intense. And, I walked away, it's 9 to 5. There's a lot of content and frameworks and models and stuff that we're learning about. But what I love most about the program is it's moving on this continuum of developmental coaching. So it's not just telling, but asking the right questions.
Beautiful.
And sometimes you don't know what to ask if you don't understand yourself and your team members.
Mm.
And that can relate to things like emotional intelligence, how they show up, what drives their behaviors, creating psychologically safe spaces so that team members feel empowered to, contribute and make suggestions, and they are motivated because they feel supported. So, understanding, all of those strategies for success, what it means to be a team player. These are all skills that, they've just really tied a really nice bow on it. And it's been able to, give me a lot of tools in, for example, we just completed our end of term review for staff and, sitting in and watching their classes and stuff.
Yeah.
And the ability to provide them with the right kind of feedback, but more so it's asking questions, which I have found the hardest, because when people come to me and knock on the door, they're like, here's the problem, and blah, 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 there, do this, do that, get it done. And the problem with that is every time I would be at the studio and I have a knock on my office door, it was always to put out fires.
Mm.
And they all have the tools to do it themselves. So it was really about empowering them, giving them the tools to make autonomous decisions for themselves. And I think the approaches and the frameworks that I'm putting into place slowly has been really effective in, giving them, empowering them to make their own decisions. And it's been really great to develop the team in that way. So I can kind of concentrate on my own things, and, when they're making decisions, it's because they know that's the right way. They're not just guessing and going, I think that's the way it should be done. That's so
wonderful, because if they feel empowered, they're going to feel valued, they're going to want to progress, they're going to want to be loyal and stay with you, so you're not constantly recruiting and bringing new people in and trying to get them up to date with the culture and how we do things and all of that goes with
struggle. I'm really thankful that hasn't been the case for us. Like our team, we're small but mighty. There's 10 of us all up, but our core group, I mean, we've been together for 5 to 10 years. I mean, that's almost unheard of. But in our situation, I'm really happy with the kind of boutique size offering that our studio has, because we don't have 300, 400, 500 students that require 15, 20, 25 staff. I have 250 students, and, there's 10 of us that hold down the fort, and we, are across different genres, or, there are enough of us to make sure we can spread the load significantly and fully. So, and that works for us because, like you said, the culture, everyone knows how it's done, and that's how they teach. And the new generation of kids that are coming through know that, because it's ingrained in the staff.
And therefore the parents understand it too. You have less fires to put out. People get it, or they leave, which is great, because you don't want to work with customers who don't, aren't your people.
Absolutely. But, generally, if they understand what it is, for example, to just be in a recreational program, and, the expectations on them can be, they'll look a lot different to somebody in what the competition team has to do. Just being upfront with all of that, we're pretty lucky with our retention as well. So, like I said, team effort, everyone's doing their part.
That's beautiful. Are you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Yes, hit me.
Beautiful. What advice would you give to your younger self when you were just starting out in business? What advice would you pass on?
I would say get a business coach, get some kind of mentorship, learn from others. I heard a quote the other day, people on the bottom compete, people on the top collaborate.
Yes.
So, do more of that for sure.
Beautiful. I love it. What's your favorite app on your phone?
Oh, Spotify, easily.
Oh, of course. Dance.
I'm a big music fan. There is music for every occasion.
Beautiful.
I clean my house to some 90s R&B. I will have some beers in the backyard to a bit of, Aussie classics. I love music. Create playlists for the studio. you know, on a night out, you need a little bit of, you know,
Music for any
2006.
mood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So great. What was the last TV show you binged and loved?
I have just finished The Tattooist of Auschwitz.
I keep getting
And
ads for that on my stand. When I open up,
yeah,
there it is.
my husband and I are celebrating big birthdays this year. So in a few months, we're off to Europe, just the two of us, leaving the
Amazing.
children behind. And
Even
I
better.
know, how outrageous.
Yeah.
So I was watching, yeah, we watched that one together, and yeah, it's a bit of it's a heartbreaker, but it was a great show. And I'm also doing The Mayor of Kingstown with
Yep.
Jeremy Renner. But that's week by week. So yeah, Monday nights when I get home from the studio, my husband and I watch that one, but it's a week at a time. But yeah, I love that too.
Beautiful. And what excites you about the next phase of your journey?
Oh yeah, I'd really love to take all of this learning. I'm still, working through it and trying to really understand how I can share what I've learned with this developmental coaching kind of stuff, and how it can help other dance studio owners, small business owners in, empowering their teams and creating like this culture of awesomeness.
I
I'm
love
still
it.
working through that, but yeah, on a
Yeah.
professional level, that's what I'm doing. Personally, I'm super excited to be heading off for a few weeks to Europe, and I feel pretty secure that we've got those systems in place that the business will run. I'm not taking my laptop. Don't call
Woo.
me. All that kind of stuff. So we can step away for 3.5 weeks, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Beautiful. Where can people find you and follow your journey?
Yeah.
Not necessarily the journey to Europe, but your business journey.
My studio is Dance Fusion. We're based in Perth, Western Australia, and you'll find us Dance Fusion Official on Instagram, and Dance Fusion on Facebook. And yeah, if you have any other questions about developmental training and coaching your team, you can hit me up at melissa@dancefusion.com.au.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the Raw Success Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. That was so fun.